Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Playoff Quiz Bowl competition here on KD Quiz, brought to you by GBU Life. I'm Ray Petlin, and I have the honor of asking questions to some of the smartest high schoolers from around the region. And we have another great playoff edition of KD Quiz for you today, featuring teams from Yough High School, Montour High School, and Mount Lebanon High School. And if you remember from earlier in the season, all three of these teams performed very, very well. We are going to jump right into the competition with a round we call Player's Choice. In this round, we have 5 picture-based questions for each team. 25 points is awarded for a correct answer. There are no deductions for incorrect answers in this first round. The categories we have for this Player's Choice round are current events, biology, and the 1940s. We're starting all 3 teams with 100 points on the board, but randomly selected to go first to try to add more to that is Yough High School. Which of those categories would you like?
We would like current events, please.
Current events it is, and Yough, here is your first question of the day. What group that banned the education of women past primary school currently controls Afghanistan?
The Taliban?
That is correct. What state's flag, adopted in 2024, depicts the North Star and features bright blue sections appropriate for Land of 1,000 Lakes?
Minnesota?
Minnesota is right. Prabowo Subianto is the president of what Asian country whose current capital is Jakarta?
Indonesia?
That is the right answer. Starlink is a subsidiary of what company that made the Falcon 9 rocket and was founded by Elon Musk?
SpaceX?
SpaceX is correct. And finally, what term for storms in the Indian Ocean is analogous to hurricanes and typhoons?
Cyclones?
Cyclones is correct. And with that, you swept through that first round, going 5 for 5, adding 125 points to your score, and you start the day with 225 on the board. Very nice job, Yough High School. Up next is our team from Montour. The 2 categories we have left over are biology and the 1940s. Which of those categories would you like?
We'll take biology.
Biology it is. Here is your first question of the day, Montour. What compounds, which are characterized by 4 fused rings, include cholesterol, as well as a class of anabolic compounds that are commonly used as performance-enhancing drugs?
Steroids.
Steroids is correct. What kind of tissue is exemplified by the triceps and biceps?
Muscle.
Muscles is correct. Artemisinin and quinine are used to treat what disease, which is caused by Plasmodium and spread by the most common disease vector worldwide, the mosquito?
Malaria.
Malaria is correct. Codons are matched with anticodons in what process that follows transcription and synthesizes proteins from mRNA?
Translation.
Translation is right. Very nicely done. What organelle is studded with bound ribosomes?
Rough endoplasmic reticulum.
Awesome answer. Correct answer. Very nicely done. That means you 2 start the day perfectly with 225 points on the board. Great job, Montour. Finally up, we have our team from Mount Lebanon. The leftover category we have for you is the 1940s. And here we go with your first question of the day. During a 1945 battle, Joe Rosenthal took a photo of 6 Marines raising an American flag on what island in the Pacific Ocean?
Iwo Jima.
Iwo Jima is correct. What German device, which was cracked at Bletchley Park by Alan Turing in 1940, shares its name with a term for something puzzling?
Enigma machine.
The Enigma machine is correct. Very nicely done. What B-29 bomber flew over Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, and released the atomic bomb nicknamed Little Boy?
Enola Gray.
Enola Gay is correct. According to an infamously wrong headline, what man defeated Harry Truman in the 1948 election?
Dewey.
Dewey. Thomas Edmund Dewey is the correct answer. And finally, name this father of the atomic bomb who led the Manhattan Project in the 1940s.
Oppenheimer.
J. Robert Oppenheimer is correct. You two start the day perfectly. And we have a three-way tie of perfection after our first round here on KD Quiz. However, more points are up for grabs as we head towards the knowledge check. That's coming up right after this.
KD Quiz is brought to you by GBU Life, providing life insurance, annuities, and community support since 1892.